defending the Bible as the inerrant Word of God.
Right.
And they don't teach most of what's in the Bible that's outside the realm of their doctrine and dogma. That's all they preach is their doctrine and dharma. Not dharma, but well, anyway. Well, our time just goes so fast, doesn't it? All right, are we on, brother? All right. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Yeah. It's a beautiful day here in Charlotte, North Carolina, for you that are joining us online today. So I want to thank for you that have shown up in person today and for you that are joining us online or later. We want to welcome you to our final class on living the heart life. We have picked 2 or 3 different sources for this. Although I'm trained as a HeartMath coach, I have definitely used a lot of HeartLight's teachings on their techniques, but I also have integrated with it the Heart's Code by Paul Pearsall, which I think is amazingly wonderful. The third thing I'm using is my own research through the years about the heart. And fourth but not least, but not last but not least, is the guidance of Spirit. I have to make space here. What does the Spirit have to say about this subject? Not what does David have to say, but what does Spirit have to say? So we're coming from these different types of sources in that area. All right. We have learned some interesting things about the heart. Can somebody kind of tell me what we know about the heart that's in the last 30 years or so that we did not know?
In our heart that's in our brain. Mm-hmm.
Say it again.
We have neurons in our heart that are also in our brain.
Very good. Be sure to say it loud so the people online they'll pick you up. So she's saying that we found out that there's a certain amount of neurons that is in the human brain that is in the human heart. And that's about 40%, which makes the heart actually at that point a stronger than the brain in some areas of intelligence. For millennia, the brain has gotten the dominance to be, hello.
Hey, Terry.
Praise him, Terry.
There's our message.
By the way, turn your phones off. Be sure to turn your phones off. What was I saying? Somebody help me out. Beth, what was I saying?
Cells in the heart and the brain.
Yes. So we knew that the heart was the head. This is very important. The heart, the brain, has been the head, in the head. And has somehow convinced people that the brain is the same thing as the mind. And we know different than that. I've been on this for years trying to make a distinction. And the brain has a hard time getting this because the brain has been on the throne room of the body for so long. It has ruled the body. That means when I say the brain, I mean analyzing, judging, and all the things which are called mental constructs. Mental constructs. So, as Einstein so says, and I use this a lot, imagine now, analyze later. So imagination is not for just little children, but imagination still remains a part of our childlike spirit. I don't care how old you are here, you were a child. And everything you've ever been is registered in you to make you who you are. You can't do away with one thing, but you have to realize you've built and developed. So that's why the teacher said, unless you become as a child, you shall not inherit the things of the kingdom of heaven, because they're only discerned through using your imaginative, creative visualization part of your mind. So that was kind of the great contribution and power of such people, not just one person, but I have to give that to the Science of Mind, Holmes. He really got a hold of this thing of the mind being scientifically provable, of using thought visualization in creating what we want in life. Now, as far as I'm concerned, he didn't go far enough with it. Just as I have taken and gleaned from Fillmore's teachings, which are wonderful, but he didn't take it further. Now, Fillmore could have. If you read his writings, unity, he was much further than what unity ended up being. He knew a lot more. When he wrote The Smashing of the Atom, he was talking quantum over 150 years ago. He was into that, but he didn't live long enough to establish that into the level of unity. So unity pretty much stayed where unity was birthed and born. And I'm not saying a thing against unity. I love unity. And I think it's a wonderful entrance place for metaphysical people who are going to follow the metaphysical path. And the thing about unity, it's more organized, it's a little bit more structured, and people coming from a religion of some kind need that, maybe more than we have. Unity maybe can still be a place that have for small children. HeartLight doesn't have that. We've tried it. It just has not worked here, so I'm not struggling with it. But some unity churches have a more structured church thing that people need as they transition. So I'm not trying to down them. I'm just saying that we've gleaned from all of those, but we have to take it to the next step. We have to bring it into the 21st century. We have to bring it into present time. All right, so it is true that the heart has been discovered through HeartMath, who has proved. So HeartMath does not bring us a new, Linda, please. It's not the place to talk. I mean, if you want to say something, raise your hand. I'll let you say it. Okay. What was I saying?
It's like the other teachers didn't go far enough, and
Yes.
HeartLight is a way of.
And when I was this assistant minister at Unity of Charlotte, I tried to bring that to Unity, that I knew, and I was having such downloads from Fillmore. You guys remember how that Nancy dressed up as Myrtle and I dressed up as, and snuck in the back, and Greg got us costumes of the period of the 1800s, and I was dressed. You remember that, Tom? And we said there were some visitors coming through Charlotte, and we came in the back door and did a dialogue. Because I was so connected to Fillmore, and I knew Fillmore was saying, take it to the next level, take it to the next level, take it to the next level, which we kind of did to some degree until Nancy resigned and I left, and then it was brought back to its place. Again, not judging, with what it is, good deal, whatever. So we have used the analogy of a very controversial part of Scripture that has caused a lot of issues concerning the man and woman, male and female. One, that the woman should be silent in the church. No, but if you make it metaphysical, you'll see what's going on here. If the heart is the female and the brain is the head, these scriptures start making sense. First of all, the head says to the heart, be still. I don't want to hear your stuff. If you do have a question, heart, go ask the man. That's what it says. If you need to know something, go ask your husband. You have no right to ask of yourself. You must go through your head. The heart must go through the filter of the head. So heart intelligence ends up as mental perception. Yes, you have something?
What about where it says the woman covers her head in the church?
Well, that has to do with, oh my God, that gets into hair and yeah,
That's a whole nother.
yeah. It's about glory, the glory of the woman, and that's why when you see burqas and all that kind of thing, there's a teaching there that women must cover their head and all that. So that's you have to get into Eastern Muslims and teachings that I don't know enough about to tell you what that is. But there's also Pentecostal churches I used to go to, and a woman would not come in the church without putting a little dolly on her head. So these are people that are literalists. Yeah, all that. So there's a lot of literalism out there, which is missing the true spiritual, metaphysical meaning of what's going on in that. So it is saying that the head of the woman be silent, go ask your head if you need to know something. Well, I know you don't like that if you're going to use the body. This is why you don't like it, because you see a man and a woman, and women want their rights. Now, is that wrong? No. But that's not what it's talking about. None of these things in the Bible are talking about what it appears to be in the literal. Yeah. And that is our position as metaphysicals, is to bring it into spiritual application of what it means.
So how is it okay in the spiritual? Can you explain that part?
Well, I thought I did, but I'll go back to it.
It goes through, you still have to ask your head, or you still have to have...
No, I'm saying that's what they're telling us.
Yeah.
I don't believe that.
Yeah, okay,
But
yeah.
the Bible says that which has been projected on women to be silent in the church and the man to be the head. When it's not talking about man and women, it's talking about male and female. Don't confuse the two. Yes.
A lot of females believe that as well. You know, I know you said all females don't want that, but there are some females who do want to be submissive to their husbands.
Oh, absolutely. I ran into it not too long ago in a little situation I got into.
And we'll fight you.
But again, it came out of the literalism of the religion or the Bible, whatever. So if that's where they are, that's where they have to be until they're not. But I'm talking to metaphysicians here. So I'm not going to talk literal. I'm going to talk metaphysically, that the head means the brain and the female, Sophia, means the female, heart. It's been shut down for eons and millennium of time by him, who has become the head of the church that you are. And we're trying to deal with that in the fact that the shift that has happened in the last 30 years or more, so not to exclude indigenous people. Indigenous people has always been ahead in this kind of levels of things like that. Native American, Aborigines, even certain tribes of African American, they've been much more in tune with what we're just learning. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because we got all civilized. And they were the uncivilized. You know, they were the stupid people, the dirty people, the awful people, the ignorant people. You know, that was their thing, to shut them down. Because the head of, you see, as long as the government is in its head, as long as religion is in its head, as long as education is in its head, it suppresses what has emerged in 3D from earth teaching, from Mother Earth. Did you know there's a scripture in the Bible saying, and the earth shall teach thee? It's either in Proverbs or Ecclesiastes, but it says, and the earth shall teach thee. And those who learn from the earth have been suppressed to be heathens and horrible people that needed the head to take over and educate them. One of the saddest things I've ever seen is what was done to Native American children when we landed here and forced them physically to learn English and to learn Christianity and to take them away from their root spirituality.
How about burning witches too? Those were all heathen.
So, without getting too deep down into that, the point is that I'm saying to us is, in the last 30 years, and you've got to think things like HeartMath. HeartMath, who said, we want to investigate this. We want to find out what is the position of the heart versus the head. So through their research, they discovered these 40% neurons in the heart that was in the brain. That it wasn't heart and brain. It was brain, heart, heart, brain. You got me? So that means in the brain is heart. And in the heart, there is its own brain. And when they work together, they do great things. In fact, when they work together, and she is recognized. What is she recognized as? The receiver. The man can't receive. He can give. But she receives. Now, if she just receives, oh my gosh, I don't know how to say this and not offend you, but it'd be like someone having a sexual experience and just having a sexual experience. And the whole thing that could have produced and created a life did not take. Are you with me? Not everybody that has intimacy produces a child. It's just a human emotional thing, whatever. But then there is that time, a timing, in which the woman receives the sperm and the egg come together. And when they come together, there is that possibility of a new cell beyond that cell. And when two cells happen, a third cell, and so on and so forth, and you begin to see cell replication that starts the work of the fetus and forming itself in her. So let's say it this way: when the woman conceives or receives, what happens? When the woman receives, and therefore life can be achieved. So what I'm saying, I guess what I'm saying is, oh my God, I hear this scripture for some reason. Oh, sing, O barren, for more are the children of the unmarried than the married. Why am I hearing that? It's in the book of Isaiah. I know it is. Sing, O barren, for more are the children of the unmarried than the married. What a scripture. What a scripture. What does that mean? It means, sing, O barren. Barren means the lack of manifestation. Now, we believe a lot of stuff here that hadn't happened. You believe a lot of stuff that hadn't happened. We believe in life and immortality. We believe in all kinds of wonderful spiritual qualities and things that have not really quite shown up like we would maybe like for them to show up in our life. So if somebody comes in and hears the message and then they look at our life and they go, well, where is what you're preaching and teaching? But it says, sing, O barren, for more are the children. Now, I said, what does it mean, the unmarried? And it said, unmarried to religion. More are the unmarried, those who did not marry the doctrines and traditions of man, than the children. Yeah. So what I'm saying is the reason there are barren aspects of our life, lack of manifestation of all these wonderful spiritual principles and laws, is because we've not brought together him and her in a way that conceives and brings forth and births.
Right.
Are you with me? This is why you got to be careful of the teachings of positive thinking, metaphysical thinking. As good as it is, the ego has used it to separate it into, if I just think it, I'll create it. I hear it all the time. I don't care who I get with that's into metaphysical, that come and think it. I just heard it the other day on Gaia. I just think, all you have to do is think it and create it. No. He can't create anything. He can have the seed, and that's what you do in the teachings that you're under here and other teachings wherever you are, is you're gathering seed. Huh? You listen to the classes, you read the books, you go to the workshops, and you're gathering seeds up here because you have to get it up here first in the head. An idea, do you understand that? That's important. That most of what you would tell me about your spirituality has come from somewhere in your head somewhere about something you believe or what you think. This is what I think. Well, this is what I believe. That's all mental talk. That's all mental talk. And I'm sorry, you can do all the mental calisthenics you want to, but you will not produce anything until you are balanced with her. She takes the seed from him and he gives it to her. And she begins to be the one that starts forming it in what we call the womb of consciousness. The womb of consciousness. It's her that takes his seed. Now follow me on this. Follow me. I don't know what I'm doing today, but I'm just going to do it. Oh my God, I'm going to say the birds there, come and take it away from. So the seed, this is important. So the brain receives the seed. That's all the things you know and believe and can talk about. That's really good stuff. We've got some smart people here that has done a lot of good gathering of information and knowledge. Well, that's seeding your brain. You plant it in a neuron, and you plant this seed in a neuron, and you plant that seed in the neuron, and you learn about this, and you learn about love, and you learn about we're one, and we learn about that we're divine beings. Those are all just seeds. They're just seeds that you know, you think, and it's all in the brain. Now here's the thing. It's taught us that the seed has to die. That's what it says. Unless the seed dies. So the seed has to die. All right, go out in the garden, plant your seed, water it, fertilize it, oh my God, whatever it takes. You know, and that fertilizer is the you-know-what of life, the poop of life. But you got to have the fertilizer. You got to have the water. You got to have the chemicals. You got to have whatever it is that softens the seed so much that it bursts open. Because the seed ain't going to come up. No seed comes up. What comes up is what's in the seed, which is the seed's DNA for the corn, the DNA for the okra, the DNA for the radishes. Whatever it is that you're planting holds a blueprint of the thing that is to manifest. But it won't manifest as long as it's in the seed. Even Jesus said, I am the seed that has to die, that abideth not alone. That's why there's a collective Christ in the earth today, is because Jesus said, I won't be the only one. I will die and go into the ground of consciousness so that I can bring forth after my own kind. I'm not to bring forth a church or religion or Christianity or Catholicism or any ism that's out there. I'm going to bring forth myself. But I got to find good ground in which to plant myself in. Oh. Good ground. Yes. So the seed dies. The seed is the shell. The seed is the persona. Personality. The ego you. That's why Spirit wants me to tell you and me, everything that's coming our way right now is to soften the seed of our ego self in this community. Even the poop that might have gone on, is going on, will go on, I don't know. But I read it to you, there's going to be bumpy roads toward maturing this community. So the seed dies and releases what's in the seed. So, go back to the brain. The brain's got seeds galore. Especially we who are teachers and talkers. Oh my God, can I talk? I've got so much seeds in my head, but it doesn't mean because I'm going to talk it, minister it to you on Sunday, that's going to manifest. Because even as great as it sounded, we could still have a barren week. But sing means vibrate. Get into vibration. Get into frequency. Yeah, vibrate. Oh, sing, oh barren. For more are your children of the unmarried. Did you get that? You chose not to marry the system. You chose not to marry the religion you were raised in. You chose not to do that.
What's the rest of that line?
Everybody take a breath. All right. I got half hour here, so I want to wind this up a little bit. First thing I want to talk about is resilience. HeartMath gives us a definition of resilience that captures the essence of a broader understanding of what resilience is. And let me give you a definition. Resilience is the capacity. Some of these words are so important. Don't miss them. It's a capacity to prepare for. That's where we miss it. We don't prepare for what comes out of our mouth. We don't prepare how we're going to greet something or someone, a situation. We don't know how to detach and use the observer part of ourselves before we make certain decisions. And through a lifetime, think of all the times that you said things you wish you had not said, done things you wish you had not done. All of that builds up. It all builds up energetically in us. Because most of us were not in situations where there was clearings taught. I mean, how many churches cleared your chakras? How many cleared your etheric body? No, it's not taught that I know of in regular mainstream Orthodox religions. And it's more taught in this level of metaphysics But honestly, we're not doing it enough. We need more clearing sessions and services to clear. Whether it's through the bowls, through the drumming, through chanting, I don't know how, but we need more times to just stop and clear everything, because stuff is coming up like crazy. What has been hidden is being discovered and shouted from the housetop. So, need to consider that. More clearing ceremonial services might be of great benefit for us. So resilience is a capacity to repair for, recover from, adapt in the face of stress. Do you know that over 90% of all illness and disease comes from stress? That is scientifically being proved today. From stress. And the world has given us a lot if we choose to stress from. It's abundant. To challenge, resilience is the capacity to prepare for, recover from, adapt in the face of stress, challenge, or adversity. Your resilience capacity can be thought of as the amount of energy you can store in your inner battery. I'm telling you, folks, the harder way to navigate through this 4D polarization dimension that we are in right now is only going to make it because you have access to energy beyond the survival level of 3D Homo sapien human. You got to build your reserve tank up. Now, all my life, oh my God, there's been so many times that preachers have got into this. The world's coming to an end. I know people who moved out into certain places and started little communities for the apocalypse, and they've stored up food and all of that. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. That's a good thing, store up food. And there are disasters that happen. But I mean, this was made like the event of the end of the world and all this kind of thing. It was all fear-based kind of stuff that came from that kind of teaching. But instead of storing up cans of food, we need to store up energy from universal energy supply. Thank you, Dolores, back there raising her hand. Nice. I'll take you. You can't make it on survival energy. You can't make it on the energy that gives you the energy to make sure you got food to eat every day, or a car to drive, or a house to live in. These are survival mechanisms. If all your energy is going towards survival of the species, when this thing gets more intense, you're going to need a reserve of energy that you have stored. Now, I'm going to use my Soul Energetics thing. Probably Barbara could do this as good as I can, but when I have a client, I have to explain to them what we're going to do today is called an energy vitality technique. That's my intro with a person. If they come in, they say, I want a healing, I want to manifest money, I want to find my soulmate. I hear that all the time, and I just cringe when they say soulmate. Nobody should be asking for a soulmate. Soulmates are work. But I can't help them because they don't have the energy for us to manifest it if they're living on survival. So here's my example I give them. So you love me and you love my work, you love HeartLight, whatever, and you just want to help so much, and you're such a person of faith that you believe that if I write you a $10,000 check by faith, God's going to meet that. I know God's not going to let me down. Well, good for you if it happens, but most likely it's not. I hate to be a downer, but most likely that's not a smart thing to write a check that you don't have in the bank to cover it. That doesn't make much sense to me. I don't care if it's faith or what. That's just not being very smart to do that. But I know people who's done these kind of things, and they've written checks believing that magically God was going to be there to do that. So let's say you write me a $10,000 check. I put it through my bank, and it comes back insufficient fund because there was no money in the bank. So what I had to do, I had to learn how to take an individual energy body of the individual, because every one of you, off your 7 chakras spins out into an energy body. Etheric, causal, astral, mental, emotional, etheric, and physical. Okay? That's your individual. But let's go back to my analogy. The woman writes, or the man writes a $10,000 check by faith. But this time, an unexpected inheritance comes in. Or they will, God forbid, win the lottery. And now they've got $50,000 in their account they didn't have there before. And they still want to write me a $10,000 check. So they write me a $10,000 check, and guess what? It went through. Now, that person has, because up until then, they just had enough money for the rent, groceries, car payment, just enough. They didn't have a lot of extra at all. But now they've got $50,000 extra in the bank, and now they can start doing some things that they dreamed about, fixing their house, getting a different car, getting new clothes, whatever, because they had it. And that's what I believe. I believe that most people are energy depleted. And a lot of this is about energy draining. Let me tell you, one of the biggest energy draining things word you can use is should. I should lose weight. I should get in there and clean that basement out. I should have made my bed today. Trust me, if you was going to be in a place of should, you probably didn't do it at all. So I learned that in a class I took at SMU years ago on taking control of lifetime and whatever, was energy rip-off words. And another one's try. I'm going to try. Very good. Another good one. There's a whole bunch of words that does nothing but use energy you could have used to manifest. This is why I think that the Bible is a little wants us to be more concerned about how we talk, how we use ourselves, how we use words. I think a lot of energy is spent needlessly than it should be. So I won't get into that, but there's plenty to tell us that life and death is in the power of the tongue, and there's a lot of things that teaches us that anything you do, it takes energy to do it. Everything takes energy, because everything is energy, right? But if you're not replenishing your gas tank, and you're going, oh, well, God can do all things, so I don't have the money for gas, so I'll just keep driving my car. You're going to burn your car up, mess up your engine and everything if you don't get back and find a way to put gas back in your car. I hope I'm making some sense to you. So the whole part of the lessons that we did today was to teach us some techniques But I'm going to read this again to you, what I just said. Your resilience capacity can be thought of as an amount of energy you can store in your inner battery. The greater your resilience, the more energy you'll have available when you need it. Now, what to you is resilience?
Ability to overcome something that happens.
Keep going.
Keep going.
Okay, anybody else? Resilience?
An inner strength that you can direct.
Sorry?
An inner strength that you can direct.
Okay, all these are good, right? Answers? That's not what I'm looking for right now. Yes?
I think it's kind of a knowing that I can affect it, that the universe will deal with it in a way that was appropriate.
Okay, all of those are good and all of them are true. Not one thing I heard was not true, but here's resilience is the capacity to recover from. It means you get angry, but you don't stay angry as long because you use your techniques to get you out of the anger quicker. Because the longer you stay angry, it takes more energy to stay angry. So if you're holding something that somebody said or somebody did for a day, 2 days, a week, a month, or whatever, you are absolutely wasting energy by being angry or upset or whatever and holding that. Resilience and this breathing means that I can be resilient or recover quickly. So you're in the grocery store, which I was the other day, and oh my God, of course, I got in the line where the woman had, I don't know how many coupons, and then her credit card wouldn't work, and oh, it went on and on and on and on and on. And I was just like, you know, a lot of chatter was going on in my head. And then I said, wait a minute, practice what you preach, brother.
Amen.
And I started doing my heart-focused breathing.
Yeah.
And what that did, it took my mind off what was going on at the front of the line and brought me back to myself. And after I got through, guess what? She was gone. Resilience is recovering quicker from the trappings of the ego brain situation. So the more that we don't use our energy for more negative things, anger, fear, anxiety, all those things that pushes all of our buttons. And that's fine, because it's going to, because we're human too. I'm gonna make that clear. It's going to happen. People's going to piss you off once in a while. Somebody's going to say something and do that. But the thing is not to hold on to it, but do your breathing and then go and see, but this person is also searching for truth as I am, whether I agree or disagree. So there's a way of resilience. It says getting enough sleep and plugging energy leaks so you don't waste energy is key to building and maintaining resilience. So what we're doing for the rest of the time is we're going through our exercises that we've learned. So I want you to get comfortable in your seat. The first one is heart-focused breathing. Do you know the word for spirit is pneuma or ruach in Hebrew? And it means breath. It's not some mystical thing off somewhere. It means the thing that sustains us, a living, is the breath of life. Two different things, living and life. Spirit breath is not born or die. You can't kill life. But what lives will die. And the only reason that you're living and sitting up in that chair right now is because the breath carries oxygen into the blood. Do deep breathing. When you can, do deep breathing. But this is heart-focused breathing. As we do heart-focused breathing, we are recognizing that the heart holds 40% of the neurons that the brain does. That she has her own brain. That's what women are saying today. I have a brain, men. I can do it just as good as you can. I can run a corporation. I can be a president. Are you with me? So through this exercise, we are recognizing her heart. Her name is Sophia in the Greek, which is wisdom. He may have the knowledge, but she's got the wisdom to create for him what he seeds in her and conceives and brings forth. I don't know about you, but I'm ready for a life of bringing forth. I'm tired of hearing all this spiritual stuff. I'm just, enough's enough. Somewhere we got to stop and say, okay, I'm going to make this work what I know. Sing, O barren. Or greater are the children of the unmarried than the married. I can't stop. I just keep hearing that in my spirit. I just keep hearing that from Isaiah. Thank God we didn't marry the church. Thank God we didn't marry religion. Thank God we didn't marry the dogmas and the doctrines of men. And do you realize how barren your family thinks you are? Because you're no longer in the Baptist church or the Catholic church or whatever. Oh, barren. But more shall be your children. I may shout. More is your children than the one who got married.
Come on.
Sing, O barren. Oh my goodness. Whew, I got church. Okay. So the first exercise is simple, but it's just dropping us out of our head and recognizing breath in the heart. So I ask you to get comfortable. You can do this with the eyes closed or not. And why I say that is because I want you to be able to do this even driving on 77 and you get upset. You don't have to close your eyes. You can just do heart-focused breathing. When that person cuts you off and gives you the finger and all that kind of stuff and you're so mad, and especially that little Dodge thing, every time I see one of those Dodge cars, I get out of the way. They used to be police cars and they rip around here on the north side a lot. I get so upset. But then I do my heart-focused breathing and I have resilience. I don't hold it. Because I'm thinking, what good is it me? It could be, I don't even know that person. So I'm going to be all upset today because I got cut off on 77. No, resilience. So focus your attention on the area of your heart. And if you need to literally take and put your finger or hand right on your heart just to pull your attention down to your heart, you can do that or not. And now with imagination, allow your heart to breathe in. That means that you're going to feel the chest move when you breathe. And exhale. My suggestion, which is very different, I know, is to breathe in through the nose and out through the nose unless you have a sinus issue or something. But if you can, I do not agree with breathing in the nose and out the mouth. If you do this through the nose and out the nose, it will activate your nitric oxide. Again, I want you to breathe a little slower and a little deeper than usual. out of your heart. Feel grateful to your heart. Love her. She's been abused by the head because he's been ahead of her so long and abused her. Ask for your heart to be healed. I do a thing in the tuning forks of opening the heart chakra. And we go in, and when I first started, I saw spirals and spirals of soul lives lived, and upon them was a crusted energy. And I said, what is it? It said, every time the heart's been shut down due to wound, pain, sorrow, grief. And I clear that out. So today, through the breath, clear your heart of every time someone's hurt your heart or broken your heart. You broke my heart. My heart hurts. Let it go. So breathe in now, quick coherence, an attitude of calm and balance. So think down the center of your body, between the right and the left side. Start with the right side and the left side of the brain, which down the middle is a band of nerves called the corpus callosum that divides right and left brain. Once you have found that in your imagination, just bring it right down the middle of the forehead to the third eye, the nose, the chin, and bring it right down through the middle of your body. And as you enter into the area of the genitals, let it split down each leg through the feet and connect the heart with her mother, Earth. Heart with Mother Earth, the heart of the earth. The heart of the earth would be the magnetic fields, the human resonance, which is the heartbeat of the earth. And as you breathe in with a feeling of gratitude, please think of something that you are so gracious for. Parts of your body that don't hurt. Parts of your life that there's not turmoil. Feel gratitude and compassion. And whatever makes you feel more soothing and calm or Zen. This is what Zen is. Calm. We go to the third session, which was inner ease breathing. And again, from heart-focused breathing, draw in the feeling of inner ease. In other words, parts of your life that are not so difficult to deal with, but it's easy for you. Every one of you have things that are easier and not so difficult. Other things you have to work harder at. It's easy for me to love somebody. It's easy for me to whatever. I don't know. You fill in the blank. Feel inner ease through the breathing. And now I ask you to anchor and maintain that feeling. And what that means is in your Father's house are many rooms or mansions. And I want you to pick out a room, and on the door of that room, it says, feeling of inner ease, calm. And why I want you to create that room? Because you are the architect of your house. I want you to know you can go to that room anytime that you choose, because you've built a room for inner ease. Week 4, we learned the technique of heart lock-in. Focus your attention on the area of the heart. Imagine your breath is flowing in and out of your heart and chest, just as you've been doing thus far. Again, breathing a little slower, a little deeper than usual. And once again, I want us to activate and sustain a feeling of appreciation for a person, a place, and a thing. First, a person. Who is in your life that makes you feel appreciation? It could even be your pet. If you can't think of a human, think of your pet that loves you so unconditionally. A place that you've been, on a beach, on a stream, in a mountain. It gives you the sense of appreciation. Think of something you care about. Maybe you care about the earth. Maybe you care about animals. Maybe you care about helping the sick, those who are poor and without. What do you care most about? Now take these feelings of appreciation and care, love and compassion, and radiate that renewing feeling first to yourself. I want you to see yourself. Step out of yourself and see yourself standing beside yourself in that chair. And radiate those feelings. I appreciate you. Say that in your inner self. I appreciate you, talking to you. I care about you. I care enough about you to make some changes in my life so that I can be a better me. And the heart says, I love myself unconditionally. And if I can't find it in my human love, I ask it through the love that God has for me to love myself as God would love me. And breathe in compassion. Be lighter with yourself, not so hard on yourself, not so difficult on yourself. And finally, week 5 is freeze frame. Acknowledge the problem or issue of any attitudes or feelings about it. You're going to think of what is a challenge, what is not a problem, but a challenge in your life, an issue. It could be an issue with finance, an issue with the family, an issue with health, and an issue. And check in your attitudes or feelings about it. Is there fear, anxiety? And now hold that, but go to your heart-focused breathing. Make a sincere attempt to experience a regenerative feeling, such as the appreciation that you have registered and care for someone or something in your life, someone you've loved and cared for, a parent, a mother you took care of, a grandparent. And from this more objective place, ask yourself, would this be a more efficient attitude or action and solution for me? In other words, is it healthier for me to stay in a state and an attitude of caring and loving? Breathe. And finally, quietly observe any subtle changes in perception. Did something shift somewhere? Something you were concerned or upset with? Maybe there's a slight shift as you move beyond the veil of illusion and separation. Breathe. And now we want to share this experience to the world at large. We're going to extend it out of our heart and its huge field. It is such a huge field. It's been measured to be many feet long and huge. It's more than 8 feet, but I think more than that. But it connects with all hearts. So radiate the caring, the compassion, the love, the calmness, everything that you was able to experience. I want you to take in a deep breath in, hold it, and this time as you exhale, let it come out of your heart into the collective consciousness of the planet. I want you to see before you in your imagination a globe of the world right in front of your heart. Can you do that, you that are visual? Just see the planet floating in the darkness of the cosmos. Look upon it. What country are you looking at? America, South America? Observe the Middle East right now. Israel. All of the Middle East countries. Wherever your attention takes you on the globe, where your attention goes, your energy flows. Africa. Countries of Europe. Where all the wars are going on. I see them first as bombs and buildings all being destroyed, but I choose to shift my perception and see them stopping and laying down their weapons. I see them laying down and beating their weapons into plowshares. Ready to till the new ground of a new world. Peace that passes understanding. When you are ready, you can slowly return back to the attention of the room. And we're a little over our time, nothing unusual. How's everybody feeling? Is that good? Just sit for a few seconds and feel what you feel. Just feel what you feel. Just feel what you feel. Feel gratitude and thank yourself for coming today and being an open portal for the heart to be who she is and not be suppressed any longer by that which wants to be the head of her. This is her time. This is the time of the feminine on many levels. I'll tell you what, we would live in such a different world today if women would have been running this world.
Yes.
if mothers would have been running this world, we would be living in a different world. And that's just the way I see it. And that is and going to change in some way. Thank you so much. All right, we're prepared to receive our love offering from you for the class. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I think we're almost just about $300 from our budget, so that's really good. Yeah. You guys really? Huh? $356. So if you still have some extra you want to give to HeartLight, that would not be in this offering, but to HeartLight, please do that. But thank you so much for what you do give and how you do support HeartLight. Again, I say to you, you're not going to get back if you don't give. Don't look for receiving without giving. They are the same circle. Now, there's different ways to give. It don't have to be money. But giving your talents, your gifts, your love.
Give in the garden today. We're going to be out there.
That's right. This is Garden Day for you that spoke up and said you'd like to be a part of it. I've racked my brain about a pickup truck. And the only person I know that has a pickup truck is Dorothy.
Yeah, I'm going to call her.
Good.
Rent
Just
one for 20 bucks.
okay. Well, whatever we need to do.
Might be cheaper than buying each way. It might be cheaper than buying the floor.
Could be.
Yeah.
So anyway, we'll check on that and do that.
Freak it out.
Who's this young lady here? You want to introduce? Hi.
Yeah, she's definitely a hometown friend of mine. Well, actually, she's been part of our family almost. And she came all the way down from High Point, North Carolina.
Hi.
Welcome.
Glad to have you.
She was actually on the webinar.
Oh, you were the one.
Yeah.
I have to apologize to you. I had a board meeting waiting for me in there, and they were getting upset with me, so I had to. And I'd already told him I only had 15 minutes, so did not mean that. Personally, did not mean to do that. Wow, that was a good group of people on that website. Yeah, that was some good stuff. Rich.
Well, I'm Leslie Feldman. Excuse me. Been in ministry for years. Just sought God for the truth. Because a lot of things I've seen in ministry that I didn't agree with and didn't feel lined up with the Word of God. I took a journey through Islam for a season, twice. The second time I understood my purpose in taking that route. And so, and I know it's a greater purpose in that. So now I'm in a place where I left the ministry that I was in for on assignment 2 weeks ago. And so I asked God for direction and instruction because I know my purpose is healing and deliverance. You know, I didn't go through the trauma and the things I went through for myself. I went through for somebody else.
That's right.
And so in the process of me waiting, received prophetic words from two prophets that I knew, heard from God totally. Heard from well, I call him Marvin. But I heard from him earlier in the week, and so he texted and said, call me or text me. So I texted him my number from my number, and so I didn't hear from him. I said, well, I know he's busy, so he'll call me at that point in time. And so Saturday I received a word that was like, I was like, okay, but he texted me that evening, and when he texted, he was like, he said, hey, Les, and I was like, hey, Ty, and the Lord said, this is what he has to say, he's tied into the prophecy. And so we ended up on the phone 4.5 hours.
Wow.
God just jumped in, and we knew it was divine connection. Yeah, we haven't seen each other since I was probably about maybe 4 years old.
What?
Yeah. I'm 46 now, so
Wow.
his mom and my mom were real close friends. So, you know, it was just like, I just tagged along. Because I was only child, he was only child. Yeah. So when our moms connected, I just tagged along with him. And so, it's been, Sunday was even another confirmation. And when I say I know that God is doing a new thing, And even with, you know, I sought God 3 years ago when I divorced, and I asked God to heal me from all trauma, anything that was going to hinder me from being an effective minister to those who need to be healed and delivered. And so he started doing that. But sometimes you still have a little residue. It's there. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes it takes for little events that might probably have something happen. And you're like, oh, I didn't know that was still there. And so, you know, I thank God for my opportunity to be here today. My eyes were, I mean, my allergies were so bad this morning, I could barely see. The sunlight was terrible. And I was like, you know what? I stopped and got some shades. I was like, forget this. I took an Alka-Seltzer Cold Plus because they help relieve the pressure. But he was like, well, I want you to get it, you know, it might be a waste of time. I said, no, I'm almost there. I said, but God had me coming for a reason. And I'm a woman of my word. And so I'm just thankful for, I got what I needed just in that. And I'll be back.
All right, you guys have a great day. You better stay for the garden.
Yeah.
The garden
Yeah.
party.
You gonna stay for the garden party? You staying for the garden party?